Through the trees,
No more of that.
I will follow.
I think you can turn them down a bit more. Like all the way.
My feelings are so hurt. My singing voice that I had prepared. I worked hard looking at the lyrics to Through the Trees. Wait a minute, is it Through the Trees?
Just start the show, Kevin.
Hey everyone, welcome to Straight Jacket Talk. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host Nathan, who is the body to my Jennifer. Right, Nathan?
Yeah, sure, why not?
We have a very special guest tonight. We are joined by Gill from the It Slays podcast. Gill, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is fun.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on. We're a huge fan of the It Slays podcast. Can you tell people about your podcast and where to find you?
So you can find us at It Slays Podcast, wherever podcasts are available. We're on all the social media sites, Facebook, I think, Instagram, Tumblr. We're working on a TikTok. We're on YouTube and, basically Twitter, Letterboxd, whatever. We're on all those, so you can go check us out. And we're a 4-person horror podcast, mostly Canadian. I guess we're all Canadian, but I'm currently living in the US. And we do 2 episodes a month. And we also have a Patreon where we have another show that I do, and me and my co-host Rowan do Creep Show episodes, and we review those. So yeah, if you want to check us out, that would make me really happy.
Awesome. Yeah. And we're going to have links to their podcast in our description. So please go check them out. They're a great horror podcast. They do a ton of content, which is awesome. Your Patreon too is awesome, I think, because
thank you.
Like your entry level fee gives you access to a lot of stuff versus most.
Yeah.
Patreons.
$1.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think.
That's awesome. Some podcasts like to rob you blind, but not yours.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate you being here for this one, because tonight we're going to be covering Jennifer's Body from 2009. It's the 15th year anniversary.
Yeah. Not the 25th.
Not the 25th, no.
We were trying to do some math earlier. Not good at math.
No.
Well,
I'm not a math guy.
It took 2 of our brain cells to figure out that 2009 to 2024 is not, in fact, 25 years. It's only 15. So, we're bringing that big brain energy, I guess.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, happy birthday to Jennifer and her body. Actually, this is something cool that I had just learned. The spring formal dance, I believe, in the movie happens on April 18th. We are recording on April 17th, the day before.
Perfect.
I would have had my tux all planned out.
You should have worn a tux, Kevin.
I know. I apologize. Next time. Next time.
What were you thinking?
Despicable.
I know. I will plan out things better in the future. I promise.
Please.
This movie was written by Diablo Cody. Such a badass name.
Mm-hmm.
Like the coolest. I don't know.
It's not her real name, though.
Yeah, I looked, I looked into her a little bit. She is pretty well known for writing Juno, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she won an Oscar for that, didn't she?
Yeah. I think she wrote Jennifer's Body and Juno at the same time, actually.
They are both actually pretty cool movies from, almost a similar viewpoint. I had heard that she really had put a lot of her own story into both movies. And especially
I was reading
Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, I was reading something about her saying, like, she started off her life as needy, and then as she became more popular, she became more toxic and Jennifer-like. And that was sort of something she wrote into the characters, that both the characters are versions of her or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool to look at that. I heard she also, like, she had spent time as a stripper during her life.
Diablo Cody?
Yeah, and she
didn't know
actually
that.
wrote, like, a memoir on it as well, I believe.
Yeah, it was like 1 year in the life of, I forget the title of it, but yeah, I think she only spent like a year doing it. But that's enough to get, experience
To
for all that.
understand it, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, she must have had such a cool, like, life story and experience. And like you said, with especially this movie, if that is truly like her, the needy character and the Jennifer character, it's really a cool juxtaposition to watch on screen.
Ooh, I love
Yeah.
that word.
I try to sneak it in wherever I can.
Get it. Love it.
Yeah. When you learn a word from Tool,
Oh, is that a tool word?
I know the
Yeah.
pieces fit, Nathan.
Oh, the pieces are fitting right now.
Yeah.
This is cool too, and I didn't realize this. She was a ghostwriter on Evil Dead, the not the
really?
newest one, but from 2013.
The remake.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
She was a ghostwriter? I thought she just revised the script.
That's like the official story, but I was looking into
okay.
it more, and she had a lot to do with the actual script you see played out on screen.
That's cool because the other night, like after I watched Jennifer's Body, I went on Letterboxd and I made a list called Cunt Horror. I just added.
I love it.
Thank
That's a
you.
good
I
name.
added a lot of movies on there. I stayed up way too late doing this, but I did add the Evil Dead remake from, was it 2013? And it makes a lot of sense now knowing that because, you see the Evil Dead references in the movie in Needy's room with the poster and the shirt that Jennifer steals, which is really hot, by the way. But the character of Mia in the Evil Dead remake, she's so iconic and I love her. She's a little bit problematic, but she's a little bit inspiring and I think a strong woman character, and that definitely fits everything that Diablo Cody has done. So that's really cool.
I think what's awesome, like you had said too, with the characters is, she writes a really good, strong female character, but they're, at least the characters I've seen her write on screen, are very flawed characters, right? But they overcome those flaws to become, who they are and this strong person.
Are we getting into that right now? I would say that, yes, the female characters are flawed characters, but they are also products of the environments that they are growing up in.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're toxic, but they're also stuck in this like grinder of a society that puts them through, misogyny. It's a patriarchal society. And, them being obsessed with how they look, like, that scene where Jennifer is rubbing the makeup all over her face when she starts to get ugly or whatever.
Ugly.
Ugly for her, right?
Quotation marks.
Yeah.
She's a normal
She's
girl,
beautiful.
right?
But everything they do, like, there's such a strong themes of female competition in this movie, and I can go off about it later. But yeah, they're definitely products of the society they live in.
100%. These are real characters, I think, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like there's nothing superficial. I know they act superficial, but don't
Jennifer
real people.
especially.
We didn't get into our Rotten Tomatoes score. For Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 46% critic score and a 35% audience score.
A lot of people owe this movie an apology, if you ask me.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I agree, Ethan. So I remember seeing this when it came out in 2009, which was the year I graduated high school. So I have a real strong connection to this movie. But apart from that, it came out in 2009, and the marketing job for this movie was done
I read a little bit about this.
a month in advance. So people were getting feeds of this movie well before it came out. But it was also the marketing team that was in charge of this movie was all male. And they kind of just saw this movie as being, oh, it's sexy, it's Megan Fox,
Right.
it's a slasher sort of deal. So we're going to, advertise this type of movie. And then that's not entirely what the movie is at all. So people were disappointed when it came out and didn't do too well in the theater. But I know over the years, it's definitely gained a cult following, which is interesting.
Yeah, I actually read that one of the first trailers was like 50% that kiss, and they're trying to sell that as a sex scene, like a sex scene for the movie. And it's like, but that's not really what that's
Right.
about. And once you get there and it's sort of awkward and weird and manipulative, you're not going to find it sexy. And if that's what you're looking for, then you're not.
You missed the mark.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to be disappointed in the movie. So doing that with the marketing just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
It was a detriment, you know, it's like all the bros went to see the movie.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where they were like, wait a minute, what movie am I watching here? This is not what I was sold on. And that creates kind of that backlash that happened. And
Sure.
And I hate to say it though, too, this movie has a cool like comedy horror thing going on for it too, like on surface level. And I don't think that was appreciated that much back then either. You know what I mean?
Comedy horror in general wasn't appreciated.
Yeah, comedy horror in general. Yeah. Yeah. Because like it had to be either like super gory and vicious and mean, or it had to be, you know, like PG-13 and
and this one is very much neither.
Yes.
I think also the type of humor it is, it's a little bit self-aware and kind of intelligent humor, you know, and a lot of it sounds really dumb, like the things they say, but you know, the satire and the comment that they're making, it's not what people were into in 2009. And also Diablo Cody just came out with Lisa Frankenstein in February.
Oh, okay. I've seen that one advertised. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, you gotta see it. It's like my favorite movie of the year. I love it so much. So Diablo Cody wrote that, and Zelda Williams, she directed it.
Robin
but
Williams' daughter, right?
Yes,
Robin
exactly.
Williams' daughter,
Okay.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
But it didn't do too well, I don't think, and I think people kind of are hating on it at the moment, but I totally see it going down the same path as Jennifer's Body, and maybe a couple of years people will give it the appreciation that it deserves, because it's very similar in tone and it does take place in the same universe as Jennifer's Body.
Oh, it
supposedly.
does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
But it's like in the 80s or 90s. So.
Oh, okay. So it takes place like 20, 30 years before then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do some quick math there. Don't ask me and Kevin to do math.
I gave myself a range of 10 years to work with. So it's got to be in there somewhere.
Gotta fall in there.
Yeah. Nice.
This Rotten Tomato score feels low for my liking, I think.
Extremely low.
Yeah. Our buddy, Roger Ebert, even gave it 3 stars.
Oh, really?
For Roger
Ebert
Ebert.
hates horror.
You know what he said about this movie?
What did he say? Uh-oh. I didn't read what he
this
said.
Is not a note you have? Oh.
No.
He said this was like Twilight for boys.
Oh, so he gave it a good score
he didn't get
and then
it.
said the dumbest thing in the...
I really don't think so.
Even when he's right about the score, he's wrong about the fucking movie.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Listen, I
Like,
saw the 3
geez.
stars and I stopped at that. I was like, good enough, Ebert.
Twilight
Good enough.
for boys.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into our discussion on this movie, if you guys could please hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell, because when we go live or when we do a new video, you'll be the first to know. Isn't that right, Nathan?
Yes, it's a privilege.
Dang, you were excited there. I love it.
He can't contain himself. Look at him.
Yeah.
Now, because Gill is our guest, I'm going to ask her this first. Who is your favorite character
Oh,
in this movie?
geez. Really? Okay. I want you guys to guess first who you think it is for me.
Jennifer?
Okay.
Big Dick Chip.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Nathan's right.
Oh.
Obviously, for me, my favorite character is going to be Jennifer. Even though she is a villain, I think she is an empowering villain. She's hot, she's funny, she knows what she wants, and she goes for it. I can sympathize and empathize with what happens to her from my own experiences in life. And despite her being a major cunt, I love her. She is mother, she serves. I love a good man-eater succubus character. And outwardly, she may seem like a hollow shell of a being, and ultimately, she literally becomes that. But I think it's a good representation, like I said earlier, of how we are products of the society that we live in. What about you guys?
I really like Needy.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
nice.
I like Needy a lot. I think she has a really interesting character arc, being in this toxic friendship with Jennifer. It shouldn't take your friend eating people to figure out that your friendship is toxic.
Yeah.
But,
sometimes that's what it takes.
yeah. But by the end, she realizes that, this relationship was toxic to begin with. And she starts taking back what was taken from her by Jennifer as time goes on. Unfortunately, it doesn't end great for her.
And honestly, even though, she ends up with nothing, I think that shows how powerful she becomes because, she has the name Needy. I think her real name is Anita.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the end, she takes back her power. She breaks out of that psych ward. She walks out there. She takes revenge on that fucking band.
I wish I could have seen more of that revenge taking place, by the way.
Same.
That's one
So
of those,
good.
the few things about this movie where I was like, can we get more than a montage of the crime scene?
I agree.
I want to see guts ripped out of these people.
Dude, I agree, but I thought it was such a cool end of credits scene though too to play out, and that last shot of her from the security footage. I just thought that was
pretty good.
Perfect ending.
That was definitely pretty good. Yeah.
Don't like the groupies go in the room and they're like, oh, it's low shoulder. Oh.
We'll get to low shoulder eventually, I'm sure.
Oh my God. That's
Nathan is a huge low shoulder fan. I can see it all over your face.
Oh my God.
Nah, they're way too mainstream.
Low shoulder. I love some mainstream music, but
through the trees, Nathan.
Oh my God.
I will find you.
It's a little creepy, don't you think?
You know what?
Yeah, he's always finding me through the trees. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm always creepy.
Yikes.
It's funny that both of you had, Jennifer and Needy, because I was actually stuck between, who my favorite character was. In the end, I decided to go with Jennifer. I know it's the cliche pick because it's Jennifer's body and, she's really what the focus is. But I think how she played the role was perfect. She's a normal high school girl. She's manipulative. She's a normal friend kind of wanting, the attention from her friend and, to be in control and lead her a certain way. But, she had moments of vulnerability too, where she was
that scene in the van was kind of heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it was tough.
Kind of very heart-wrenching.
Very heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had cool moments of shock, not cool moments, but real, very realistic moments of shock, I thought too. After the fire, she was just very almost zoned
she was
out.
Lost. Although didn't that band have some sort of powers beforehand?
I was thinking. I was wondering if they did too, because it seems like she's under a spell.
Yeah.
And I thought they started the fire and that's how they made it out alive.
Felt that way.
That was going to be my huge question. Did they start the fire?
Well, because otherwise, how the hell did he just get out of there?
With a drink in his hand.
With a drink in his hand.
Fucking asshole.
Needy and Megan needed to go into the bathroom and hop out a window, and this guy is just like, oh, here I am with a drink. Want to go to the van?
Thank God you guys are all right. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Listen, it's looking dangerous out here. You want to head someplace safer, like my van?
Yeah.
It's cool. We got a van. I want to hop in the van, don't you?
Ugh,
I was wondering that as well. And I was also wondering, even though their little sacrifice goes awry and they don't actually sacrifice a virgin, they still do get a lot of fame. And I was wondering if that's just because of the trauma boner that they mention, how everyone is.
I think actually in the scene where Needy is in the library, it says that if it's not a virgin, the effect of the sacrifice still works for the people who did the sacrifice. But then you also get
like the bonus,
a flesh-eating demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it's just like, I was trying to dig too deep. I was like, okay,
Oh,
maybe
I'm
they're
sorry.
trying to make commentary about how we're obsessed with death and morbid things. And yeah. Okay.
Nah,
I got you.
it's
it could
funny
be that
too.
I don't know.
I always thought this was a vampire movie, and
It's really not.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, vampires don't normally eat people; they just suck blood. So
Eat people.
There is an
suck
element
blood.
of vampirism, though. You're right. She does drink blood every month, but she's also like eating their organs and shit too.
yeah,
So
turning
and
people
she's
into
also very
lasagna
sexual.
with teeth. Yeah,
She's
There you
just
go.
eating boys.
that's a vampire thing as well. You're right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Succubus demon.
Yeah.
You know what though? That goes into why I like her as well, though, because she plays a succubus demon. Super good,
Fair.
super
Yeah.
scary, super
She's
hot.
terrifying in a lot of these
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We shouldn't gloss over that she is also kind of awful from the beginning.
Oh yeah, it doesn't change who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's terrible. She's a terrible friend to Needy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I like about Needy. Like you said, she ends up
Mm-hmm.
taking back her power. But then she ends up figuring out that she doesn't need anybody. She doesn't need a man. She doesn't need Chip. He sucks. She doesn't need Jennifer. Jennifer was a fake
Chip?
friend. But I'm sorry. I don't like Chip.
Chip died though.
Yeah, good. Fuck Chip.
She was very upset.
Well, he was
was
not
upset.
loyal to her. He is my least favorite character. I'm going to go there.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, he's not loyal
we
to
should
her.
get into. He's not loyal to her.
Well, okay, so they kind of break up, and then he goes off with Jennifer during the dance, and they
Jennifer
like start.
tricks him.
I was gonna say he doesn't go off with her
should know
either.
better.
Don't get me wrong. He
corners
probably
him.
shouldn't have done that still, but he was tricked into believing she cheated on him, and they're broken up. I'm just saying.
Okay, one more thing. He gives me the ick a little bit because the sex scene he has with Needy is so awkward.
It is awkward.
And yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have the
Yeah.
right size condoms. He needs bigger condoms.
Not hurting you? Am I too big?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the issue.
She didn't know what he had.
It didn't
to
help
work
that
with
blood started flowing
yeah.
from the ceiling.
Yeah.
But
Little
but
Nightmare
you're
on
not
Elm
wrong.
Street.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, although isn't that the first time for both of them?
It is. And I know she's having like a horrible time because she's hallucinating or whatever is happening. I know they're trying to make a point about how awkward like losing your virginity is and having sex for the first time is.
Right.
But also I think they're trying to spin gender stereotypes on their head,
Yeah,
especially
there's
in
a lot of
horror.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like usually in horror, females, they're always dying, they're hopeless, they're the butt of the joke all the time.
Right.
And in this movie, I feel like it does the same thing with men by
Oh, for
emasculating them.
He's been castrated! His penis is gone!
Jonas, that football guy, he's like
Yes.
crying over
He's
his dead
crying.
friend before
Yep.
she kills him.
Right.
The pepper spray, it's like pink and shit.
Yeah. There's somebody out there killing boys. You need this. And it's like,
I love that scene.
I see what you're doing.
His response, do you remember his response to that?
I can handle myself. I've been using Bowflex.
Bowflex.
Bowflex, that's
There's
so good.
Bowflex everywhere in this movie.
Did they get a
What?
sponsorship?
What's up with that?
Maybe. And also, he's a lousy lay. Like, just seeing him
Oh,
on
it was
top.
his first
I'm sorry. I don't
time.
care. It was.
You got to
Ugh.
give Chip the benefit of the doubt. He's watching
like
too
him.
much Bowflex.
I mean, I guess I get it, but I kind of liked Chip. I thought he was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely not perfect. And actually, at the beginning of the movie, I thought I was going to hate him. Needy was crying about Jennifer getting into that van and going off. And Chip was like, who cares about Jennifer in this band? People are dying. And it's like, that's really not a nice thing to say to somebody who's
Yeah.
really concerned about a friend. And But I thought he redeemed himself a little bit by the end from that. I get what you're saying about the sex scene, but I'll give him a pass because it's his first time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what, too? He was a little attention starved, too, because Needy gave all her attention to Jennifer, and he was feeling a little left out, you know?
Well,
he was lime green Jello.
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay. You know, it's normal, I think, for a teen boy to feel that way. And for poor Chip's first time of having sex to be awkward and miscalculated. He'll get better, though.
He also had one of my a line that I really liked, which is where Needy was talking about, Jennifer is a succubus, and she was like, "You don't believe me, do you?" And he goes, "Well, I believe you, but I don't believe this." And I don't know. I just felt like that was a gentle way to express skepticism. But
he's a gentle soul.
I thought he was a little gaslighting-ish all the time. Even though he was being nice about it, I was like...
Everybody was gaslighting Needy.
yeah. I was like, you gotta be there for your woman. Come on.
Nathan, who was gaslighting you in this?
If somebody tells me that somebody else is a succubus, I'm simply not going to believe them.
I would go straight to it. I'm like, yes, come to me.
Oh yeah, we get a
right to the succubus.
Yeah. But another thing about them making love that was awkward and also showing, emasculating men and showing vulnerability in men is when he says, "We made love for 4 minutes the other night," or whatever. I was like, nice, 4 whole minutes.
4 whole minutes, yeah.
I will say
4
though,
minutes of her life.
I think
she was having a terrible time.
Worst, honestly,
were you watching?
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know if Kevin was. He might have been distracted by the whole thing with Colin that was going on at the same time.
Nathan, who's your least favorite character?
They make it really easy on you. It's the lead singer of Low Shoulder. He is the absolute worst. Even if you set aside all the things he did to Jennifer, which are the main things for why you should hate him. He's also an Adam Levine wannabe. And that's a problem.
I think they dropped that too, right? Or one of the guys is like, "You want to be like Maroon 5.
Do you want to be a big loser, or do you want to be rich and awesome like that guy from Maroon 5?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep working your day job, or do you want to be like Maroon 5?
Didn't age well.
Yeah. He lies about where he's from to his bandmates, and then, he hacks up a young girl, teenage girl, and that's pretty awful. So yeah, he made it really easy for me to figure out who my least favorite character was in this movie.
We got an ally right here.
He had such a psychopathic scene too, right before he stabs her, where he breaks out into song.
Jenny, I got your number. I need to make you mine.
Yeah, the 867-5309.
It was just one of those, this dude is above and beyond.
Yeah, but I don't know. Something about it, in that moment, I wasn't as scared as I was with, the Jennifer scenes, as much as I was just kind of mad that he exists.
Yeah. Well, it's also very real, a very real thing, as opposed to, turning into a demon. It's not everyday things.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be honest. We're not supposed to be really scared of this guy because he's like an emo rock star wannabe sort of deal,
Yeah, it's scary that somebody you can't take seriously is capable of doing something like this, but I still couldn't take him seriously. And he made me mad. And I think all of that was intended, of course.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
To me, he really looked like Brandon Flowers of the Killers. And the whole band actually gave me very Killers vibes, but I love the Killers, so I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but they weren't trying to be the Killers. They were trying to be Maroon 5.
Maroon 5, that is true. That is true. But not to go off track about your least favorite character, but I love that brings up a very topical issue nowadays with band members taking advantage of their fans who are often underage. And so many bands that I listened to growing up have come out with allegations against them in like the last decade or so.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so dangerous because fans are infatuated and idolize these musicians who appear to be allies, but they're often wolves in sheep's clothing, which is, you know, Nikolai Wolf, the lead singer of Low Shoulder. They act like, you know, they're something else.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It's a scary thing.
My favorite artist of all time has allegations against him like that. David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Okay.
So
nobody's perfect, you know. You can.
Yeah, but that's a kind of not perfect that might have a rough time with. But
true. I mean, you can listen to David Bowie and then think he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm not gonna
you can
stop
listen to
listening
Through
to
the
him,
Trees and love it and think Nikolai Wolf is a piece of shit.
I mean, he's fictional though.
They were putting their music out there to help them, those poor fire victims.
Yeah.
Through the Trees has become our unofficial anthem of unity and healing. And they have decided to release it as a benefit single. 3% of the profits will go to local families who have been affected by loss.
What about the other 97%?
Yeah, 1% of the proceeds go to the victims.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a great line by Needy.
Yeah.
What happens to the other 97%? Isn't this a bit crass? And then nobody in the class knows what crass means.
You
say it.
Jill, you brought up a good point though with a musician, you know, taking advantage of their fans and things like that. And I think that's, you know, a big thing nowadays that we're really seeing. But this movie really kind of touched on that subject. I mean, you know, even when we were in a band in high school, not that we did anything like that. I'm not saying that.
Oh.
I'm just saying that, like, even the small amount of power we had in that position was, it was an elevated thing. So when you have actual rock stars that
who are like, adults, mind you,
who are adults, not high school kids, it's like it becomes monumental. And then if you have, you know, just these innocent people who want to believe in this greater power, because there is a greater power there, I think, of fame and, you know, music and all that lust. Like it's so easy to take advantage of that, and it's such a bad thing because that's not what music should be at all.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I think they're also playing around with the concept that in Hollywood, people sell their souls to the devil. And that's literally what this band is doing.
Yeah. In a very literal sense. In this
sense.
For sure.
Man. My least favorite character, I was actually going to pick Nikolai as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
he makes it easy.
I changed it. You know why? Because he's really good at what he does. He's like
Through the Trees.
He got me with his song. I was mesmerized by him.
Oh my god! I can't believe I'm the only one who hates that song,
dude. I cried out laughing when he was like,
"Good evening, Devil's Lake."
Devil's Kettle.
Fucking A right it is.
Great to be here in Devil's Lake. And someone's like, Devil's Kettle. And he's like, fucking A right.
I love that.
It was so funny. He could give a shit less where they were, you know. It was like, I don't know. He was smooth, you know, the scene where he comes up with a drink and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was so out of normal, but
dude, all of a sudden he was just there, and I was like, oh, this guy.
Like, hey, you.
Yeah.
Something sinister.
Something really terrible is happening here.
Yeah.
But my least favorite character is Colin.
I get it.
No.
100% get it.
Yep.
Justice for Colin.
No.
Because I am a fucking sucker for emotional, brooding, Byronic goth boys. Hell yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
No. Listen.
Let's go.
Why is he asking Jennifer out?
Well, we know why he's asking Jennifer out.
Well, no, exactly. That's like the issue. When he says, I want to take you to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show. And she says, I don't like boxing movies.
There's a midnight showing of Rocky Horror at the Bijou next weekend.
I don't like boxing movies.
Yeah, but it's not a...
She should be failing his litmus test, not the other way around.
Right. I think he was
should know
considering it.
that while he is very attracted to her physically, he should know that this is not the girl for him at this point.
I think though he steps away, right? Though he's like,
Well,
But then
that's
she
because
runs
he
after
feels
him.
embarrassed,
Oh, okay, yeah,
not
yeah.
because he's like, that's not because he's figuring out that these are not two compatible
Yeah.
people. It's because he's embarrassed.
Right.
So,
When I was watching that, I was a little confused though, because for some reason I always think he's trying to ask Needy out, but Jennifer just kind of inserts herself into the situation and he,
Right.
readjusts his focus on her. But that's what I got from that is they always had
Really?
Needy and Colin had this chemistry, and then
Yes.
Jennifer once again swoops in and steals something from Needy.
I
Well,
didn't
exactly,
see it that
because-
way, but I guess I've only seen this movie once, so I have to pay attention to that next time I
but
watch.
she only becomes interested in Colin after Needy talks nice about him.
Which is
up until that point, she
awful.
was like,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And then later on, too, Jennifer uses the connection between Needy and Colin against Chip.
Oh.
right,
Because
right.
she's like, hey, they've been fucking, or they've been, what did she say? Porking?
Porking.
Porking on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, was the words, I believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right, though. Like, Needy and Colin really are probably copacetic and would fit together, not Jennifer and Colin. But
Yeah.
Colin,
But
he
she's
just,
already dating
ugh.
Chip, so
He rubbed me the
I get
wrong
you, Jill,
way.
but I agree with Kevin.
Right.
He rubbed me the wrong way. And then,
Yeah.
like, he gets, so first he's singing in the car.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I see all obstacles in my way.
Yeah, he's singing the song. It's like kind of a, bright, poppy, like peppy song. He's getting himself
Yeah.
all worked up. Listen, he knows what this is. Come on. He's not stupid, right? And he knows that they're going to fuck.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
okay. I misunderstood because I thought you meant he knows what this actually is. And
No,
I'm like,
no. Yeah,
How is
no,
he going to know that she's a
No,
succubus?
no.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
Nah.
that.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. If you knew she was a succubus, would you still head to that house?
No.
I don't know, man. I'd think twice about it.
I like living.
I don't. Take me.
If you have to die, this is a pretty good way to die. I'm sorry.
You die?
I know,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I could just live instead.
But
There's no
Megan
taxes
Fox,
in death,
succubus.
Nathan.
That's true. Wait, there could be if you're rich enough, but
I don't want to think about that.
yeah.
Dang. No, so he gets here, right? He gets to this empty house, and yes, okay, I agree. Like, oh, it's a little creepy that, this is a construction house. He's like, oh, this obviously isn't.
I'm
your
not saying
house.
I wouldn't go in there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
saying I wouldn't go in there if I knew she was
If
a
you knew she was
succubus, but he
succubus,
doesn't
right.
know that.
Right. And then he's all like kind of weirded out, like, oh,
Well, it's an
And
odd situation for sure.
I get it, but dude, your mind goes blank. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, I
Right.
get you.
Right.
Can't
I don't know.
relate.
I don't know. He was just acting, and then he was like, oh, like, I don't know what this is. And like,
Right.
come on, man. Come on. I believe Jennifer says she has a bigger dick than him.
Yeah.
Yes, she
that
does.
that was kind of the way to describe him in a way.
Oh, I don't know about
Sorry,
that,
Colin.
but-
I apologize.
I mean, it just goes again back to like the emasculation of men, and
Right.
There is a lot of it. You're right.
Yeah.
Some of it's
Yeah.
deserved, though. Not Chip.
Not
I love
Colin.
I don't know. I think Colin deserved it more than Chip.
Oh
but
my god, you guys are just mean.
Jill, what
I
is your
don't see how
favorite?
the football player really deserved it, but it's not. I'm not complaining about that. This is a horror movie. People who don't deserve it tend to die in horror movies.
Yeah.
but
True.
You got to kill some innocent people too, and
every now and
things like
then,
that. Right? Jill, what is your favorite part in this movie?
My favorite scene is definitely the one in the lake where Jennifer is swimming naked and she's like cleansing off all the gore from killing Jonas, the football guy.
Yeah, yep.
The music that's going on there, beautiful shots. It's just such a vibe, and I love that scene. It makes me really happy. What about you?
Actually, I have two in my mind, but the one I'm going to go with is the one after Jennifer is sacrificed and she comes back into Needy's house. And I just love all that tension building where she opens the door, nobody's there.
Right.
You know what's going on. It's creepy in the house. She's opening doors, and then boom, Jennifer's there with that face. With the blood and the lips and just, I mean, it's like iconic, that kind of creepy smile she has on her face.
Right.
You know, and it's like,
So good.
it's perfect. Then she goes
Yeah.
to eat that chicken and throws
Boston
up all
Market.
that shit.
That part was really scary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she
Especially when
pushes.
she just started puking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's going
And then
on
she pushes Needy up against the wall, right? And you think, oh, this is it for her.
Right.
But she's like close, wants to maybe eat her, and then thinks
then
better
doesn't.
of it, right?
Yeah.
Goes away.
And that
So-
actually is almost references back to earlier in the movie when they were playfully pushing each other before.
Yes.
Yes.
And
100%.
and Jennifer decided to push Needy too hard, really.
Yes.
But doesn't think about it too much, and Needy doesn't say anything. But the viewer saw it and went, ugh.
100%. My other scene, too, that I really liked was one we had touched on earlier with Chip having awkward sex with Needy. But also in the same time, Jennifer is, you know, hardcore eating Colin. But it was like,
yeah.
it was kind of this, again, juxtaposition.
Oh, yes.
The first time, awkward sex, and then like hot, steamy, full on
Ooh.
sex. You
Yeah.
know, and the
You're
difference-
onto something there.
Yeah,
That's what I
except for the
thought.
part where the sex doesn't happen for Colin, but during that,
It was hotter than the sex that Chip had.
you're
with
not
Needy.
wrong. Yeah,
Give me
Damn.
death.
I think when Needy kills Jennifer is probably my favorite part. She just flies through the window all of a sudden. I thought it was great that, you know, it's almost like she got an adrenaline rush that gave her a little bit of Jennifer's powers in a way. And the whole fight they have and the way they're talking to each other, and like the whole movie sort of culminates in this one scene where Needy figures out, like, I don't need this woman in my life anymore.
Right.
And I really thought, I thought it was as silly as some of the lines were, it was also a little bit profound in a way, you know,
Yeah.
especially when she grabs the BFF necklace off of Jennifer, and it seems like Jennifer loses her powers there for a moment, but I think she was just kind of shocked that Needy was really making it clear that she was not going to be under Jennifer's thumb anymore.
Right.
So, and that's when she fell and stabbed Jennifer through the heart.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the my tit line.
Yeah.
My
or
tit?
tit.
Pretty great. Know your heart. It's like,
So good.
yeah,
I love
that was
it.
great.
Chef's
I don't
kiss.
know if you noticed too, but the box cutter falls, or I think, or it was the BFF necklace falls on that magazine cover, and it
didn't
was like
notice
a
that.
cheerleading magazine, and one of the girls on the cover looked exactly like Jennifer, and the other girl looked exactly like Needy.
Oh.
and they were
I
like
didn't see that.
back to back. Yeah, it was kind of a cool,
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
kind of flashback to them being friends. Or like we talked about in the opening, it's like the personality thing. Two personalities.
Right.
Of the writer. So I don't know. That's kind of a cool way to look at it too, I think.
When I was watching that scene, and I keep forgetting, even though I've seen this movie a million times, I was like, oh, box cutter? Oh no, she's gonna go, somewhere more crass with this.
You know what this is for? It's for cutting boxes.
Yeah.
That was a great
Definitely
line.
intended. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Gets me every time.
Jill, what's your least favorite part of this movie?
I don't really
Do you
have
have
a
one?
least favorite
No.
part,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say the sex scene with Chip because it gives me
Poor
the ick,
Chip.
man.
It makes you
I
uncomfortable.
know.
Yeah.
Poor Chip.
But on the flip side of that, I really enjoyed the Colin scene
Yeah.
a lot, even though it's kind of happening simultaneously.
Yeah,
But
cutting
I
back
thought
and
it was
forth.
really, really powerful.
Nathan, what's
you
your
go.
least favorite?
So I hate any framing device that spoils any part of the future of the movie. So the opening of this, where we find out immediately that one of the characters is going to die.
Nobody comes back. Nobody gets off the cross.
Chip, there's a picture of Chip, and she says, this won't bring them back, or something like that. And I go, well, I know that character's gonna fucking eat
That's
it.
true. Yeah.
I don't know. That Netflix movie Bird Box, which has a whole bunch of other problems and isn't very good, also did that. And I remember going, I hate this. Please stop doing that. So it wasn't a really good way for that movie to open itself up to me. But then, the rest of the movie happened and I thought it was great. So, but yeah, that's my least favorite part.
It's kind of like that trope where, you're writing a story and at the end you're like, and then I woke up and it was all a dream.
Yeah. Only David Lynch can get away with that.
You live inside a dream. Hell, God, baby, damn no.
Yeah, I was going to say that one is worse because especially when you watch a movie that's like that, you're like, well, what the fuck
Why did I watch the movie?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That one's hard to pull off just right. My least favorite part in this is the fire scene.
Really?
I love that scene.
I like that scene too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. It was like all this chaos, right? All this chaos had just happened and everyone's on fire and it's
terrifying. Reminded me
terrifying.
of what was the place? The station? You remember when Great White?
Yes. Yeah. In real life, you're saying in real life. Yeah.
All this, my brain just went back to that.
It happened in Rhode Island, right?
Yeah, not too far from me, really.
Yeah.
What was that? 20 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anytime you get a nightclub or a bar on fire, my brain just goes back to that event. But
I hear you. I was thinking that too. Gill had made a reference too to like Thanksgiving too, and the opening with Thanksgiving. Nathan, you haven't seen Thanksgiving.
I have
yet,
not
right?
seen Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
the
I won't
shopping
spoil.
Madness.
Yeah. There's pandemonium that happens in the beginning.
A Black
It's like
Friday.
this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool reference. I don't mind the fire scene per se, but what I mind is the aftermath. And the aftermath is, first, I don't mind Jennifer's reaction, like I think she is in shock, but it's fucking needy. Don't let your friend get in this van.
What's she gonna do?
Do whatever you have to do.
There's 4 men. What's she gonna do?
She did try.
Scream.
Yeah, well, she tried to convince. The best she can do is convince Jennifer not to go in the van, but that's not happening.
We have the Sebring. Let's just get out of here. Please? Needy, just stop it. Shut up.
I don't know.
She didn't
I guess
try
maybe
very hard, though. She didn't try very hard. It was like a lackluster
guess.
effort. And I get that Jennifer
She's
controls.
also in shock. She also saw all this
I guess
go
you're
down.
right. I guess you're
I
right.
think she tried. I think she tried her best, and Jennifer could not be convinced. She told her to shut up.
And she's not going to say Needy's not going to say no to Jennifer in that moment at that point in the movie. So
to your point earlier,
here we go.
I don't like how Jennifer's in that van before the 89 rapist before the door closes. It's a sad image to watch.
Yeah.
It's right framed in front of Needy. And to me, you do everything in your power, everything to make sure that this doesn't happen to your friend. Nathan, if you're getting taken by this emo band, I'm not waiting there looking at you. I'm punching people. I'm kicking people. I'm doing what I can to save my friend here.
That's so nice.
I got into a stranger's car in front of you.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we go.
When we were 16 years old, because that man bought us Southern Comfort. You
But he was
watched
a
me
friend.
get into that man's car.
Nathan, he was a friend.
We didn't know that man.
He bought us alcohol. He's a friend. It happened.
Oh, it comes out. The truth comes out.
I'm just saying that's something you did. In fact, it was all of you. I was just like, yeah, I'll get into the car. We need some booze as a 16-year-old.
It wasn't a van. It was a nice car
Nothing
with a
bad
nice
happened.
gentleman.
You're a survivor.
We need this story written.
Oh my God.
Bad friend.
Jill, what's your favorite line in this movie?
Might have two. So like one serious one and one funny one, just because there's so many good one-liners in this movie. But my favorite line that actually means something, I guess, is
Hell is a teenage girl.
Hell is a teenage girl, like the tagline.
Yeah.
Just because I relate so strongly to that. One of my other favorite horror movies besides Jennifer's Body is Ginger Snaps.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't?
No. I've heard it's good, though.
It's so good. Canadian masterpiece.
Nathan, I swear we watched that together in high school.
No.
I swear. You know,
maybe. I don't know.
It was
Maybe
after
he
you got out
doesn't
of the
remember.
car with the guy.
Oh my God.
We were
was
drunk
that
by
night.
that point, so it would have been easy to forget.
That's true.
But yeah, Hell is a Teenage Girl because, you know, growing up, this is still a coming of age movie, you know, as much as it is about demons, it's about growing into yourself, growing into your body, Jennifer's body.
Right.
You know, all those things in high school. She's bleeding or she's not bleeding once a month. Sorry, that's Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps. The metaphor is werewolf transformation and menstruation sort of thing. And it's kind of here too. She's not bleeding, but she needs to drink men's blood once a month in order to stay pretty, I guess. I don't know, and strong. But yeah. I love that. I think it's a really good metaphor. And also the funniest line, I think, I don't know, there's so many good ones, but honestly, I don't remember seeing it this watch. So you guys have to let me know if you remember this line. But Jennifer goes, I just got Aquamarine on DVD. It's about some girl who's like half sushi. Was that on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Aquaman, though, wasn't it? I think.
Aquamarine.
No, it's Aquamarine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Paxton, she's a mermaid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she says that to Colin to try and get him back into her good graces or something because she had embarrassed him and now she wants to hurt him because Needy likes him. Yeah.
Also,
she must have fucked a blowhole, I believe is what she said.
I just got Aquamarine on DVD. It's about this girl who's like half sushi. I guess she has sex through a blowhole or something.
Yes, that's what goes with it. Yes. And I think during the same conversation, also the Rocky thing, but also she talks about, she's like, I didn't read Hamlet. Is he going to fuck his mom or something? I love that too.
That was funny, yeah.
What about you, Nathan?
So I kind of also have two, but one is just super minor and it's funny because of my own experiences. Needy is talking to the guys from Low Shoulder, and she says, "Why do you guys want to play here? Don't you guys live in the city?"
Why would you want to play all the way out here in Devil's Kettle? You live in the city, right?
And it seems to me that she said it out of actual curiosity, but knowing Diablo Cody, she probably understands that that is a major burn to that band.
Yeah, also a red flag.
Right, yeah, kind of like, As somebody who's been a local musician and understands big fish, small pond stuff a little bit, it was like, oh, a lot of people aren't going to understand that she was being mean there.
Yes.
So I found that amusing. When we were in high school, there was this youth center that was not too far from us, and there would be bands that came from Boston, and everybody'd be like, oh my gosh, this band, they came from Boston. They must be so important. And I thought that too. I was a young, dumb high school kid, but looking back on it, it's like, why did you travel hours upon hours from Boston to play this youth center?
In front of like 100 kids.
Anyone. Yeah. If 100 kids. Jesus Christ.
Hey, the Casualties played.
The Casualties did play. They were
bad.
actually somebody. So,
yeah.
But other than that, those other Boston bands, what are you doing here? Anyway, another one of my favorite lines was Chip says, she can fly. And Needy says, she's just hovering. It's not that impressive.
That's so good.
She can fly.
She's just hovering. It's not that impressive.
It's hilarious, one, and two, it's just another sign of Needy deciding that Jennifer is not the greatest person in the world, and maybe, she shouldn't idolize her and do everything she says and all that.
Right.
So, I really like
I was
that
thinking like with Jennifer in that whole scene that you really see her insecurities come to the surface a lot more than any other time in the rest of the movie.
For
she's
sure.
more vulnerable, I guess, in that scene.
Right. Yeah. Anytime anybody says, why are you player hating? It's probably because they're insecure about whatever you just said. Honestly.
My favorite line in this is sandbox love never dies. I really like that line.
Sandbox love never dies.
There were so many good lines in this. I mean, you could have like kept on going and going. I am a god, or I am God, right?
Right.
I am a god, and she has a lighter on her tongue.
That's an iconic scene.
It's iconic. Yeah. I have a pin that has a lighter and like a banner script that goes around it and says, I am a god. It's so cute.
Right.
I love that scene. I love how a lot of these scenes are framed like right, directly. So as the viewer, it's almost like we are now looking at each other. And
Right.
I really like that.
Right. The actor's almost looking at the camera a lot of times.
Yes.
I will say I liked the dialogue. I kind of felt like it could have been toned back a little bit though. Am I alone in that at all?
I think it worked.
Yeah.
But I can see where watching it, you would kind of get, thinking that it's a little bit excessive.
Yeah, because it's like there's a one-liner like 3 per scene. Yeah. And I can understand like for some of those bad reviews that I disagree with. I can understand if that was sort of a deal breaker for some people, to be honest with you.
I saw that a lot of people with Diablo Cody's writing, they have issues because it's almost like she creates her own language in a lot of her movies.
Right.
With a lot of her one-liners, the words that she uses and how she uses them.
See, I wasn't in high school in 2008. I don't know if it was accurate to the time at all.
It wasn't.
No? Okay.
I think she does make up her own stuff. And I think, to the fact, to your point, the fact that you're wondering if it's real slang shows that it's good.
Yeah.
And we remember these one-liners. I don't think any of them were too cheesy, maybe a couple, but I think for the most part, they kind of stick with you and you can get a little laugh out of it or something.
Right.
I mean, I know what you're saying, Nathan, and I agree with you to an extent, but I think what it does for me is it makes this movie feel unique in a sense, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I'm not saying I disliked it. I just
no
felt like it could have been toned
down a little
bit.
I get you. Yeah.
For sure.
So
I get you. It's tough too, because like if you have a whole movie that has this sort of writing, like how long was the movie? Maybe 2 hours?
About an hour 40, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, throughout that extended period of time, I can see how it gets,
Yeah.
to your point, maybe a little too much, but
Yeah.
I think it was still good because,
Yeah.
like you said, it's memorable.
It would
too.
have been if they took it out, if they didn't do it, it would have been like an entirely different movie. And I don't.
Right.
It might have not worked quite as well, honestly. I
agree.
Actually, I think it definitely wouldn't have worked as well.
Like some of the subjects too, they kind of take on like head on in this too, where Needy asks Jennifer if she's PMSing, and they have that whole scene where they're walking down the hallway and they're talking about that. Like, it's a very blunt, just conversation that two high school girls, I don't know, I'm not a high school girl, but maybe would have. I don't know, Jill.
Maybe, but honestly, I would be pretty offended if one of my girlfriends would ask me if, I was PMSing.
Right.
I actually did have a friend who asked me that a couple years ago, and I'm no longer friends with that person.
Oh,
wow.
So,
that's a hot button ask right there.
Yeah, it's kind of not nice to be like, are you just being a bitch because of your hormones? And you know what?
That's so true. Yeah.
They also talk about her being as normal as any girl under the influence of teenage hormones. And it's a rough time. And, women, no matter how old you are, I mean, you're going to have hormones raging. So, it's a bit of a sensitive topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think what I appreciate is how they kind of tackle it head on a little bit.
Yeah, they do it in a
away from
satirical way.
Yeah.
Like at the end when Jennifer is bleeding to death and she asks Needy for a tampon.
Yes.
She's like, thought you might be plugging.
You got a tampon? Thought I'd ask. You seem like you might be plugging.
Like, I would never say that to someone, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
Man, I had forgotten about that scene.
Yeah.
I was like, what's plugging? Oh, I get it. All right.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone actually say that, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Megan Fox, but Jennifer is so vulgar, like,
Right.
all the time.
Jill, what is your favorite kill?
I'm going to go back to Colin just because the music that was playing, you see the blood against the walls, you see the shadows of everything that's happening. I think it's really cool. And I love just to steal your word, juxtaposition of what's going on with the way she set up this creepy abandoned house with pedals and the music. And it looks like they're going to, get together, but it's not really what's happening. And I think that's really awesome, and it scratched my brain the right way.
Right.
So what about you?
My favorite kill was also Colin.
Oh,
okay.
For a little bit of different
Twinsies.
reasons, I think, but
Okay.
I agree with all the things you said about it, but I thought that
I need you frightened. I need you hopeless.
I need you frightened. I need you hopeless.
Oh, yes.
I had written that down
Hopeless.
because that made that scene truly terrifying.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't really a huge fan of Colin, I thought that was horrifying.
You don't want him to die.
No. Well, at the end of the day, I didn't want any of them to die, but other than Low Shoulder. But
Did you notice at the end of the movie, Hopeless spray painted on the pool?
Yes. I was going to say that 100%.
I didn't see that actually.
Yeah, that was a cool little Easter egg.
Let me tell you something. That whole pool scene was grimy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Where is this pool and why is it so damn dirty? Whose job is it to clean the pool, and can we fire them?
Let me tell you something, though. Jennifer or Megan Fox is in that pool. I'm going in there. I don't care what kind of disease I get after. Like, that stuff was like greener than green.
It was extremely green.
You come out like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
Is that your favorite kill?
Actually, it was going to be my favorite kill, but
Okay.
Nathan talked about my favorite kill earlier. It's when Jennifer gets killed.
Okay.
I just thought that scene was really well done. It's sad. It's, empowering. It's a whole bunch of things going on at the same time.
Right.
The line,
My tit. No. Your heart.
Oh, my tit. No, your heart. I mean,
Right.
it's just, it's very visceral. I don't know. It just, that was kind of the story of this movie, I thought. So in that scene, you really see a character development take place right before our eyes.
Right.
And, you know, again, it's just, it's that sandbox love never dies, but so it's heartbreaking at the same time that she had to do
Yeah. And then she gets caught by Jennifer's mom. And then it's like, well, actually, it's another problem with the framing device. I already knew where she was going.
Yeah.
Why? I don't need to know that at the beginning of the movie. Show it to me at the end.
True.
Anyway, sorry.
You know what's cool too, I wanted to mention, is how Jennifer refers to boys, even before she's a succubus, as salty. You know, like, he's so salty. It was kind of a foreshadowing of,
although,
you know, taste.
I got confused, though, because salty has a different slang meaning now.
Right.
So,
but in this movie, it meant
anyway.
like yummy, right?
Yeah,
Like it meant,
Yeah.
But it's a very appropriate thing for her to be calling boys she finds attractive, considering the rest of the movie. So
Honestly, I think you're onto something. Something just clicked in my head, but there are a couple references to food, and then men, like comparing them.
Right.
In the bar, I think, or before they go to the bar, she tells Needy there's going to be some morsels left over for her. So, like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the bar, she says, they're just boys, morsels. We have all the power.
They're just boys. Morsels. We have all the power. Don't you know that these things, these are like smart bombs.
that is definitely intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, you know what? Going back to
I
the
didn't
bar
notice that,
scene,
though.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt was in this movie.
Oh my God, I
I
forgot
couldn't
about that.
believe when I was watching the movie. Chris Pratt? What? Mario himself.
Wait a minute. I have a question, right? They have some back and forth dialogue about Chris Pratt and Jennifer's relationship, right?
Right.
He's like a police cadet. So
Right.
later on in the movie, when they have that kind of slumber party scene and Needy threatens to call the police on Jennifer, she's like, well, I'm fucking a cop, so they're not going to do anything to me. But he's like a cadet, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
what could he do?
I don't think that's a particularly good threat by Jennifer, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a good comeback. But at the same time, if Needy calls the cops and says, my friend is turned into a succubus and is eating boys,
That's true.
are the cops going to take that seriously? Because
That's true. I mean, I
real
think
life, I'm not.
Right.
You tell me there's a
Right.
succubus on the loose, I'm not believing you.
I figured she threw that out there because, she had tried to manipulate Needy with, kissing her and, kind of getting her in that mind frame of, power, taking back her power. Although the kiss was pretty hot, even though it was a manipulative kiss.
Right.
Yeah. So she tries to take back her power and then Needy like snaps out of it. Right. And she's
Right.
like, what happened? What? I'm going to call the cops, and then Jennifer kind of snapped out and then felt, attacked.
Yeah.
And I thought she kind of threw that line out as to take back her power sort of deal, even though it was a throwaway type of line, I guess.
Needy's arc in this movie is so gradual and is so natural and so well done. It's really, really quite remarkable, actually, when you think about it, how well done that is. It's just really great writing. Just as an aside, I don't have anything else to say about
Hats
that.
off. Diablo Cody, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Nathan,
It's the only one of her movies I've seen, actually. I might have to go
So
look
far.
for other stuff at this point. But
got to see Lisa Frankenstein. I still have to see that myself.
So good. You guys are going to love it. Very
Well,
similar tone.
Nathan, you set us up perfectly for our final rating. Now we're going to rate this movie, Jennifer's Body, from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is the best. 5 is the kiss between Needy and Jennifer. 5 is Jennifer swimming in the water there. 1 is Big Dick Chip, apparently, trying to get his condom on and screwing up. Ugh. Poor guy. Jill?
Okay, Jennifer's Body for me, big shocker. It's gonna be a 5 stars. Total slay on my end.
Whoa.
It's just something that really resonated with me. There are not that many horror movies or movies in general that are written and directed by women. And I think that's super important to tell such a feminist story. I definitely identify with, the things that happened to Jennifer, how horrible they are. And I love that she uses that against everyone who's done her wrong. I love Needy's character arc. I think she's great. I love how she takes back her power. I think the music in this is so good. We didn't even talk about the music, but it ends off with Hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Florence
and-
and the Machine's in there, too.
Florence and the Machine. Yeah, they have so much good music.
Yeah, there's some really
on
good
this
stuff
one.
in there.
Yeah.
Panic at the
and-
Disco.
They've
No
got
Panic
Hole.
fans?
Not
Okay.
really. Yeah, I
They
mean,
got Low Shoulder.
Oh
I
my
hate
God.
Little Shoulder. I hate that song.
5 for me. Love this movie. I could rewatch it all the time. I've rewatched it a million times. I put it on last night and I didn't look away for like the whole time watching it. It's just captivating. It's beautiful, wonderful message. I could talk about this for hours. How about you guys?
I'm going to give this movie a 4-star. I don't think I've
Whoa.
ever... Yeah, it's the highest rating I've given since we changed the star system.
Wow.
Although it's only been like 3 or 4 episodes, so don't get too excited, I guess.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've never seen a horror movie quite like this, and it's kind of crazy to me that it managed to fall through the cracks for me for so long. Because the first time I watched this was just a few days ago, and I just loved how unique it was, and I do love how it turned a lot of slasher tropes sort of on their head, like literally opposite. Especially when it comes to most slashers, Michael Myers is killing mostly women, but we've got this female slasher going around eating men. I thought that was a really interesting way to turn that on its head. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. The only reason it's not a 5-star for me is because I have super high standards for a 5-star. You got to be in like my top 20 to get to that. But 4 stars is what I rate this movie for sure.
That's fair.
4 stars for Nathan is like 6.5 for me. So
Yeah, I do judge movies more harshly than Kevin does. Yes.
I'm stuck on this. I'm stuck
Out with it.
between 4.5 and 5
It's a decent
be
place to be
afraid.
stuck. I get it.
because I love this movie a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie I think is one of the most underrated horror movies maybe of all time, and I think a lot of it
Yeah,
was
for
because of what Jill had mentioned at the beginning about how it was marketed.
Yeah.
It's not marketed the right way. This is not, a Megan Fox,
It's
look at
definitely
me.
not Twilight for boys, Ebert.
Ooh.
Right?
Ebert, we're coming for you.
It's 2 episodes in a row where we've shat on Ebert for a little while. Anyway,
I mean, I think I'll end this on a 4.5 because my only it's just small things where I wanted maybe a little bit more gore, maybe some more deaths. Like I liked the deaths they did were so cool. I wanted to see more of that.
I can't believe we got through this whole review without talking about the football player dying with the animals all gathering
Watching.
around. And what's going on? They're waiting.
They're waiting.
And it's like, and it's comical and terrifying at the same time, which most horror comedies, it's like, it's one or the other,
Right.
Not both at the same time. It changes between the two. But
it's hot, it's scary, and it's funny. The Holy Trinity all in one scene.
Yeah. And also, I'm sorry to keep going on, but
No, go on.
when he's like screaming and dying.
Oh, J.K.
Oh.
And the teacher comes out. Yeah. And he's like, let it out, kids. Because he thinks that someone's grieving.
Yeah.
Let it all out, kids.
He's dying. And God, it's so funny.
Oh, that is hilarious. Yeah.
What a way to go out, though, Jonas, man.
I don't know. There wasn't much left of him at the end there. Lasagna with teeth, as they called Colin.
That's my point. That's my point, though. Like, I wanted to see more because these were so well done. I thought, and creative and well shot. Music was great. Give me more of it. I want more.
Right.
Can't get enough.
I get it. I think they did enough, though. Like, it was subtle enough, not too over the top, but they're also not just doing a lot of gore, but I didn't really talk about it, but the scene where Jennifer is being butchered, and we did kind of talk about it. Everyone's kind of mocking it.
Yeah.
The way that she's acting, Megan Fox is acting, is crazy good right there.
Yeah.
Are you even sure she's a fucking virgin, man?
Yes. Yes, I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin. I've never even done sex. I don't know how. So, you guys should find somebody who does know how.
And another
she
reason
made that scene really hard to watch.
Yeah, it's hard
Which
to
is how
watch.
it should
it's so
be,
real.
obviously. But
It's,
she was
it's
really
almost
good.
like she's being sexually assaulted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
I've seen analysis of this saying that the sacrifice is a metaphor for sexual assault.
Absolutely.
So.
It's like a gangbang,
Yeah.
sort of deal. And if you know much about Megan Fox, I just read her book of poetry not too long ago. It's actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
And I know you wouldn't expect that from Megan Fox, but she writes beautiful poems, and she's also a survivor of domestic, romantic, sexual abuse. So I think, maybe none of this had happened to her yet, but she's the perfect person to fill the role of Jennifer because of that. Yeah.
I watched a few YouTube videos, but somebody had said that Megan Fox had said that there was a lot of realism to that scene because of the way she had been treated in the industry. Not necessarily an actual assault, but the way she was sexualized. And, and then
Transformers.
Yeah. And then apparently she also had a really hard time after this movie. She fell into a depression because she had done this really great movie that she thought was very feminist and everything. And then the marketing did what it did. And she got upset about that. And because nobody was taking her seriously.
Another thing with that too, the marketing team wanted her to do this advertising where she would talk on amateur porn sites, like chat with people live.
I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Karen, the director, she decided not to tell Megan Fox about that when it was happening because she didn't want to, crush her.
That's a good choice on her part, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Megan Fox gets a lot of unfair criticism, and maybe that's because of her public image that is seen out there, you know what I mean, by paparazzi and other shit like that. I know the Transformers movie and stuff like that, but
she was in some really bad movies, but I agree. That's not a crime to be in bad movies.
No.
That doesn't mean people should hate you.
Honestly, I think she gets a bad rep in Hollywood. And I think a lot of that is just like misogynist hate train. Everyone sees someone hating on her and they're going to jump on it.
Right. Yeah.
She's very capable, and she's hypersexualized. And we tend to just see like a hot woman and think that she's just like a shell or a body. And I think the name Jennifer's Body also kind of talks about that. There's body horror. There's what happens to her body. Her body is changing through the demon transformation. It's changing through puberty, but also she turns into the shell even more. She's a terrible person, but she turns into a shell of who she was, just a body. You know, I think Megan Fox does a great job. I think she's very capable.
Nobody else
and
could have played this role.
No one else could have played
No,
this.
that was perfect.
Yeah.
She was great.
So
Before we end, I do want to ask you both really quickly because there are rumors that there could be a sequel to this at some point.
you know,
Nathan
I'm gonna
doesn't like
answer that
sequels.
question.
No.
Yeah,
This
one
movie
and
was
done.
perfect. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The story ended.
Yeah.
Needy, I can pretend Needy went off and lived happily ever after. I know that's not what's suggested and definitely not what happened, but I can pretend that. But, you know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I agree.
No
I mean,
sequel.
this movie is like it has a perfect ending, so don't ruin it.
Yeah.
I get that maybe it was underappreciated at the time, but now I think it is becoming like a cult classic. I think people are starting to really take a look at this and realize
Absolutely.
this is a great movie that has great substance. It's scary. It's funny. It's, I mean, well acted, well shot. Music's great. So, and I mean, our ratings were pretty on point with each other. We were pretty close.
Yeah, we were all pretty close.
Thank you so much, Jill, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We had a blast having you on.
Me. Thank you. Thank you guys.
We'll have to
Thank
do
you.
more soon with you, have you back.
I'd love
But
to.
until then, back to the padded room with you.